Hey, good folks. Dr. Charlie here. Today, I said that I was going to I thought that astrology is going to be 4, but it's really 5. So, this is the 5th one, which really may be the first one if you kind of wanted general information. So, we're going to call this just astrology super basics. Again, I am not an astrologer. For an astrologer, I know a very little bit. But for a layperson, I know enough to make an interesting conversation at least. So, astrology, we start out with your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign, or ascendant is sometimes called. Our sun sign is what we're most familiar with. I might say I'm a Capricorn. I am, and that's when I was born. It's really what the sun was doing when you were born. Your moon sign is then what the moon was doing when you were born. And when I say what it was doing, I mean its position in the sky. And your rising sign or ascendant, same thing. What was happening at the moment you were born. So your sun sign is often how you are out in the world. Your moon sign, especially for women who are connected to the moon through our menstrual cycles, our moon sign is often how we act when we're by ourselves. For women, sometimes we act more like our moon signs out in public than our sun signs. Both are important if you're kind of trying to understand yourself from an astrological perspective. And then our rising sign or ascendant sign is how we, in later seasons of our lives, how we show up. Other important things I read a long time ago. I've never seen it since, and I've never heard anybody say it again, but it seemed to ring true for me. If you skip a sign in one direction, you will find people you're more likely to be compatible with. So as a Capricorn, if I skip signs in one direction, that puts me at Pisces going forward and Scorpio going backwards. That also connects water and earth signs, and then air and fire signs would be connected in that way. So skipping a sign in either direction is often people you're compatible with. I will have to say that just about every person I've ever dated has been a Pisces or Scorpio. So that has rung true for me. Astrology is one of those things that you can kind of take it or leave it, or take which pieces benefit you or are believable to you. It's also a good astrologer or a good astrology reading can provide tremendous amounts of insight into some of your patterns, some of your quirks, some of your tics, those sorts of things, and also how you show up and move in the world. Again, not an astrologer, so that's not even my field of expertise. This is much more of an interesting, fun conversation that I like to have with people. And knowing how you get along with other signs is also important. And while I've dated a lot of Pisces, many of my good friends are also Pisces. I would say that male and female and other genders, if that's what you are calling yourself or others call themselves, it matters to me. Well, the relationship is different for most of, like, Pisces men and women. I tend to get along really well with Pisces women, and I've tended to date Pisces men. So astrology is vast. It's like really, really vast. There are a number of different schools of astrology, and there are countless number of ways you can use astrology. I read a book, My Astrologer, because I have an astrologer. He suggested a book about astrology and finances, and it was a fascinating look into big things that happened at certain points of planet crossings is essentially what you're looking at when you're talking astrology. Planet and stars, and again, where the sun and moon are in the sky at any given moment. So astrology is vast. Astrology is something that people study for years and years and years and still may not be an expert in it. I am a lay person in astrology, and I use it relationally. I understand it relationally, where I will meet a person that has certain characteristics or know a person that has certain characteristics. And then if I meet another person who has similar characteristics, I might ask, what's your sign? And often their sign matches the first person. And so I have built my knowledge bank. Well, I've built my knowledge bank about most things in that way, that it's kind of an iterative process of relating to other people and how they show up and or respond in certain situations. So I will leave it at that for today. This is Dr. Charli Brown. You can always find more about me at drcharlibrown.com, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Take great care.